काय होते और इसमें पंखा है. A very good idea to have a group lounge. I wish they had it in every airport. It's like but in India they don't even allow you inside the airport. It's so difficult. In Perth, we had this Ganesh Puja, and I really spoke very nicely on equilibrium. And the rain expressed its equilibrium, but when they were singing, it was very quiet. When it stopped for a short time, suddenly came with a complete gusto and sang some songs and went away. Just for the aarti to start. It's very beautiful it was. So dramatic. It's very interesting. So all preparations are done for the puja. Maybe some people might come up from abroad, I don't know. Maybe. Have you written to some leaders or not? About this puja that we are going to have?
I think yes, some invitations were sent out.
You might. Why not?
There are one or two people coming.
Might come.
Only individuals. When I invited a few people that come to Manipur and they said, oh, it's such a long way. And I said, but you always expect us to come to yours.
Yeah. We have to move. Columbus could go to America. Why not you people go to Australia? I can't understand.
And a much more comfortable trip.
Huh?
And a much more comfortable trip.
Yeah, much more comfortable trip and a much more comfortable place to live in. He was really lost. But in a way, thank God, you see. Otherwise there would have been no Indian left in India if he had come here by chance. Come forward, come, you come forward here. Yes, good. So many flowers, beautiful. तो कहाँ जा रहे हैं सामान ले वापस?
देखने के लिए
हाँ?
देखने के लिए जा रहे हैं कितने बजे चेक इन चालू होगा?
हाँ?
चेक इन कितने बजे चालू होगा? देखने के लिए जा रहे हैं पूरे आते हैं.
लेकिन सामान तो ले लो क्या?
नहीं, अपना सामान है इसके पास.
साथ में अटैची दे दो.
नहीं, उनका छोटा सा वो है.
हाँ?
उनका बैग है ऊपर.
चारों को उनसे कहना ला दो मत, यहाँ रख दो, फिर ले जाएंगे. The children can come here in front. Come now. How many of you are suffering from hepatitis? Can you come this side? Who else? Only one. They told me 10 are suffering. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Oh. Yeah, she's giving me. चश्मा दे दे जरा मुझे. In Singapore, I bought a book, very interesting, called as Faces of Islam. And I was surprised that the whole concept of Islam is Sahaja. Absolutely. And all the authors and all the people who have discussed there are saying that Muslims are not Islamic. They don't follow Islam. That's why the whole thing has become so rigid. I mean, it's so surprising. That book has revealed to me the confessions of these people and the society that Muhammad Sahib has talked about is ours. Muslims are nowhere. Absolutely, the way he has described how the brotherhood would be there, how righteousness would be there. But one thing is missing, I feel, that he said, you must seek the knowledge, you must seek the truth. Despite that, whatever was Islam, they are free to seek the knowledge and to learn from others. Can you imagine? And he has said how to deal with non-Muslims also. And they said that there are many who are just minimal Muslims. Some of them are just for namesake, they are not Muslims. I mean, I was so amazed. We have such misunderstanding. That's why I always said that all these incarnations and prophets came to establish a religion which was really Sahaja Yoga. All their expectations were Sahaja. And they have deviated so much that you start wondering what is this. As in Christianity, we see how much it has deviated, Christianity, to what level it has gone. It's shocking, really shocking. I don't know if you know of a book written in God's name. And in that book, it reads like a novel actually. I mean, it's very, very interesting. In that book, the writer has suggested that this present Pope is responsible for the murder of the previous one. And there are 13 or 14 murders took place just to hide this. Can you beat it? And recently, one of the persons was murdered was Calvi. And they say that this Calvi was murdered. It was, I mean, every week in Italy, since I am there, some new exposures are coming. But this Calvi was murdered in a way that he was hanged on one of the bridges of London. And if he was, he was the one who murdered him, he said that I am a member of mafia, all right, but I was paid by this Vatican, by this Pope, for murdering that man. There's a confession from him. And Mr. Hurd was questioned, why didn't you take action against this when these things happen in England? He says, what's the use? Because they would kill all our lawyers, our judges, everyone. It's all mafia. So the whole system of Catholic Church is nothing but mafia. $9 million of counterfeit were printed and were distributed through their bank, that is Vatican Bank. Can you believe it? I mean, this is Christianity. Is this what Christ preached? Killing people, doing all kinds of things. I mean, nowhere I find Muhammad decrying anyone. He said you have to believe in everyone. Only these people are saying that he was the last. He went to this limit to say that I am not divine. I follow the divine laws, but I am not divine. Maybe just he wanted people to follow. Surprising, I was really surprised that if Quran is teaching such great things, the Muslims are just on the other side of it, and they admit that Islam should not be confused with Muslims. In the same way we can say that Christianity should not be confused with Christians. What about Judaism? Same thing. I mean, nowhere in that religion taught to be like this, the way they are behaving. They are following Hitler out and out, the one who killed them, tortured them. They are becoming just like them. So what to say about these human beings as under the name of God, under the name of religion, behaving like this? The reason they have given many, because of this and because of that. Just a minute, will you please keep quiet? Otherwise I'll send you back, huh? You must behave. You are Sahajogis, aren't you? You are Sahajogis or not? Sahajogis don't behave like that. See how nicely they are all sitting. So, this aspect that they are saying that because the people didn't read Quran properly, they didn't understand properly, they should have been educated properly. It will take 1,000 years to educate every Muslim about it. And if they think that by teaching through their book, people will imbibe, it's not possible. Everybody reads Bible, everybody reads Quran, but nothing goes inside, just reading. So their idea is that if they read and analyze, I mean, you have to have a big universities for that, to be taught to people, and still then not necessary that they will imbibe. I know of Mahatma Gandhi. See, he was a realized soul himself. And he was, of course, over-disciplined according to me. And he put these ideas onto his followers. As long as he lived, they were all right. As soon as he died, they came out in their true colors. Everything dropped off like some sort of a mud on their body. And they became horrible people in India. So the thing missing is this, that they are not realized. Because they are not realized, all these things they cannot bear. They cannot bear money, they cannot bear power. Now I think they cannot bear the religion. So you have to have your realization. Unless and until you have your realization, you cannot bear religion. Moreover, in Sahaja, there are no compulsions, no disciplines as such, compared to what we see in all these religions. Suddenly, I find people coming up to the expectations of righteousness, goodness, and they are also very compassionate. So the change has come from inside you. That means it's the innate change. The innate religion has been awakened. It's not just forced on you that you should be Vishwan Nirmala Dharmis, but you just become that. This is the point missing. These prophets did not know, I think Christ did not know that these people will never change unless and until they get their realization. I think he knew also because he always said that you have to be born again. So when he said you are to born again, they have a brand, you see, again, one are Christians, another born again, another seventh day, another something. All just the same stupid people. But Sahaja Yoga is the only way, where what you say, that's what you follow. Practice and precepts are just the same for Sahaja Yogas. They just can't do it something else. They are blaming also that the Occident had a very bad influence on Islam and all that. I don't think it's that. You are coming from the Occident, still you are jumped into the right culture of religion. And you understand what is righteousness, what is good. You can bear it. You are not to be told, do this, do that. But in the light of your spirit, you do it. And you achieve it. It's a very interesting thing to note that a little thing was missing in all of them. And they just went away as if they never knew where to land. All these religions, one better than the other. Hindus, same thing. Hindus had, of course, one advantage, they were never organized, thank God. Because if you are organized and misled, then the whole party goes astray. But Hindu scriptures were never organized into a religion like that. But still, so many points they have missed. Like it is said that in everyone there resides the spirit. Then how can you have caste system? You cannot. But they have caste systems. Also so many other rituals and things. Nonsense is there, absolutely nonsense. And Hindu religion became a kind of a ritualistic religion where the priests, uneducated, useless priests became in charge. And they're so stupid, worse than Pope sometimes, that they say that if you want to have, whose child is this one? Hello? Will you ask her to go back? You should talk, you should keep quiet. Will you please go back? Oh. Only children who can sit quietly should come forward. Alright? Sit down. She is a good girl. Let's see. I've also found out a solution for children, our Western children. What is the problem? I went to Japan, and what I found there, that till the age of 12 years, they don't allow children to have much sports, to go out much, and mostly they are in the house or in the school, learning to do things with their hands. And medically I know that till the age of 12 years, there is myelin sheath that grows on your nerves. And this myelin sheath gives you the deafness. Like if you go to the villages like Saharanpur or all this where they are producing artistic things. What happens that the children also start doing the same. So it's so easy for them when they grow up. So that is the time when they have to develop that deafness. That deafness also makes them more concentrated. They get involved into it. And also that you can never acquire later. So that is such a precious time of 12 years that is the time children should be made to do some drawings, to not at random but properly, to do some carvings, to do some other clay work. You'll be surprised by the age of 12 years, the boys in Japan could repair a watch, could repair a television. And one boy produced. At that time when I had gone, there weren't many televisions also. I was surprised that the boy produced a television at the age of 12 years. And also they are given violins in their hands when they're about 5 years. They start playing. So the music, art and all this side is developed till the age of 12 years. And then the children are made to go out and play and do all kinds of exercises and also sports. But they are not let loose at a young age. Now, I think about 20 years back or maybe 25 years back, a new theme started with children that you should allow the children to do what they like, let them express themselves, let them be free, this, that. I think it's not proper. Otherwise, they would be hanging from some trees. Why do they have parents, you see? After all, this is the way the parents escape their duty, I think. You have to tell children what they have to do. You have to talk to them. You must have a rapport with them. You must talk to them. And you must also try to guide them with your experience. Tell them what is good, what is bad. But this kind of a thing that the child should be allowed to do what they like, express themselves the way they like. I've seen the Western children always will ask parents, why? Why? They are not to know. They have limitations. They can't know every why. How can they understand? They are limited. And so, first of all, they are to build up. You can see this aeroplane now. Supposing it is not built up and allowed to go, because it's all right, let it move in the sky. What will happen? In the same way, we have to put the nuts and bolts properly into them and see that they develop a personality. That doesn't mean that you should be in any way cruel to them. Not necessary. There's no need to beat them or do anything of the kind. But only thing is, with love, you should be able to explain to them. And also dignity, sense of dignity should be there. Because if you develop that sense of dignity, they will not misbehave. That's very important from childhood, to give them a sense of dignity, that they are Sahajogis and they have to behave. Because when we started this school 1 year, first year, 1 month, it was such a problem, impossible situation. The teachers gave up and they wrote to me, better send typhoon, take children. It's terrible. Not only that, they trouble them, but they used to beat them and bite them and do all kinds of things and make fun of them. So wild. And that place is full of cliffs and full of all kinds of dangerous heights. And they would just run out, just like dogs. Dogs are better, I would say. They had no caution about themselves, and for 1 month, they all gave up. And the principal has now run away. He said, I can't manage these children. They don't want to study. They have come here to trouble us. That's all. They don't want to study. And first thing when I met them, they came and told me, Mother, we don't want to study. Now we put one masseur on them, who massages their body. He was telling me they're really funny children. They don't want to brush their teeth. If you ask them to brush their teeth, they start crying. They don't want to have a bath. Tell them you have to have your bath, they start crying. Anything you tell them, they start doing like that. So we can say one thing, that disciplining children in an indirect way is very important at that age. Because this idea that you should leave the children as they are is very wrong. You have to guide them and tell them how to behave. Now, you must have seen Indian children, how quiet they are. But I think the attention of children is quite a lot. And the mothers are not working also, so they look after the children. Now, in our schools that we have here, we should train them up that way. We can talk to them that you are Sahajogis, you see, you are special. The other day, there was one Indian child. He's living in Singapore. So he had picked up all these bad habits. He came and he was talking to me, grandma. Then he said, I'll tell you in your ear something. And he said something funny. I said, are you a servant? He said, no. Then only servants talk like this. How are you talking like this? Is it? I said, yes. This is how the servants talk. He got such a fright. He said, all right, I will never talk like that. It's dirty. I'll not talk like that. You see, suddenly he changed. So we have to talk to them. We have to have rapport with them. After all, they are born realized, so they have special powers. and they are special children. But one thing is definite, that children cannot be avoided, and you cannot avoid your duty towards your children. You have to look after them because they are in your trust, and they are after all born realized children. They are special children with tremendous brains. They are cleverer than you and they can outwit you. So they are so clever, so intelligent. But if they get spoiled at this age, then later on it will be very difficult to bring them. You were better because you were not born with realization. So you understood the value of realization. But they don't. So they have to be told that you are realized children, God sent children, you are special children, and what should happen. Gradually they will pick up and understand. Of course, I am happy that so many marriages are successful and people are behaving all right. Of course, there are some stray cases of fighting going on, which I hear about. It is stupid, of course, again, that we should fight when we are both Sahajogis. What is that fight? I mean, there's no question. We believe in all the religions, so we can't fight on religion. On what subject can we fight? I just don't know. We know the ethics of Sahaja and we like it, so we cannot fight on ethics. Economics of Sahaja we understand, we cannot fight on that. I just don't understand what is the difference, point of difference, where they start fighting. On the contrary, in Sahaja you can really be enjoying your married life, should be enjoying your married life, and the children should see to it that our parents are so nicely, quietly settled down. But if they see you quarreling, next day they will be quarreling too. Then we have only monogamy. We don't have 3 wives or 4 wives as the Muslims have. We don't have 4 husbands or something like that. We have simple monogamy, a very peaceful life, very beautiful life. Then why should there be problem between husband and wife? Culturally, we are just the same. We believe in all the good cultures of all the world. There's no problem. One gentleman told me that my wife quarrels with me on one point. I said, which? She says, you do not meditate. You must meditate more. I said, that's a good quarrel. He says so. But I told the wife that you need not tell him. He'll do it on his own. Because, you see, you cannot force things. This has to work out by themselves. You must accept them as they are. Gradually they'll all improve and gradually they'll get to it. You cannot just force them. You cannot just tell each other, do this way or that way. Sahaja is a thing, is to be imbibed. People don't understand that. They think by forcing people, by jumping at them, that's not good. Of course, if somebody is very difficult, then we have divorce in Sahaja. We have not banned divorce as in the Catholic religion or anything. There is divorce. But there should be something sensible about it. One has to work it out. Normally there should not be many cases of Sahaja, of divorce. But we have, because of the background, certain types of funny relations they have had, or I don't know what to say. On the whole, 90% or I should say 95% marriages are quite successful. And will be more now, the number will be much more, I'm sure. This time we had 76 marriages, so you can imagine. And in this 1 month, Yogi was after my life with his file. And so also there's a misunderstanding that Yogi decides. He does not, poor man. He cannot. But it happens sometimes, like at the last minute they'll bring somebody. Now we cannot locate the name of that person. We just can't find out if he's there or not, or she's there or not. Suddenly they bring somebody and he may say or she may say that I'm there on the form and all that. Then you have to accept. If you accept such a thing, then what happens? That you find that person is not a Sahajogi or was not a Sahajogi for such a long time. Something like that. So because of 300 to 400 requests. See, one can, after all, you can't know who is who. This is one thing that is very good. At least we can control all that. If something is wrong, we can find out, we can work it out, and we can manage things. It's not so difficult. But the leaders must be careful, because the leaders who recommend should not do something out of just some sort of a pity or some sort of a consideration. The main consideration should be how are the vibrations and what is the commitment with Sahaja. If they are committed to Sahaja and if their vibrations are alright, then it's alright, it's perfect. But sometimes, some people do have problems which do not come up, and later on it is discovered. Still, I'm so happy our society is so great. There's no such society existing in the whole world. And this is the society I think all these prophets and everybody dreamed of such love, understanding. Gradually, I think we all will grow and grow and grow. The growth is going on, but the atmosphere, I must say, is very nice and which helps each other. In Australia, we had more problems in Melbourne, not in Sydney. I must give credit to your leader here. He has managed the things well. There are many after him also. It's rather funny, but I just don't know, because Australia always had a problem this kind, and gradually we have sorted it out. So, leadership is nothing but, I call it hocus pocus. It has no meaning at all. But somebody has to be there to contact and all that. It's something so limited. But there is jealousy, there is all these things still lingering behind, and then the problems coming. Gradually, I'm sure all of us will grow well and everything will work out in a proper way. Should work out in a proper way. Our society has to show to the world that there can be a society like this. Now there's a good news, which is very good. I think we can start a calendar from that date, perhaps, because such a transformation is coming, that the Russian embassy has invited me to honor me for the work I have done in Russia. And the another good news is that Gorbachev wants to meet me. Be aware that in Taliati is one place, Taliati, which is an industrial town, where a gentleman called Taliati from Italy went down. He was a revolutionary, and he started this place called as Taliati, and the best motor car that they make is made in this place, Taliati. Beautiful one. They gave me a model, very beautiful, quite big. It's like a limousine sort, quite big. And in that one city, we have 22,000 Sahaja practicing. So 22. And you'll be amazed that in Russia, nowhere is less than 16,000 people. Nowhere. Anytime you go there, at least 16,000 people practicing Sahaja. Very seriously. So you can imagine that country what is going to happen. Though it hasn't got food as you have here, too much to eat. But still, look at the way. Look at the way it has worked out. How deeply they have gone into it. They had never heard a word about Ganesha. They never believed in God. They were, in a way, atheist. And how much they have achieved, you just Look at that. How did they achieve that? The depth that they had. They just touched it. And also they invited some scientists, or 200 scientists were there. And when I started telling them about science, I said, Mother, don't tell us about science. I had enough of it. Now please tell us about spiritual science. Spirituality. That's wonderful. I tell you such experiences. And in my lecture only, just giving a lecture at the time when there were about 16,000 to 18,000 people got cured. Just got cured. Such wonders. There was one lady who came to see me after the lecture, and she was just sitting in front of me. They brought her on a wheelchair. She said, I couldn't even sit. All right. And then I said, you are all right? She said, really? I said, yes, you get up. She got up. She started walking, and then she started running, and everybody started. Such faith, such faith. And in Czechoslovakia, there was one old lady. They brought her with great difficulty, just held her up and brought her on the stage, and she was trying to sit down. Then she said, Mother, I have complete faith in you. I know you can cure me. I said, really? Yes. I'm sure you can. I said, you are cured. She got up. Everybody was surprised. I said, now walk. She walked down, and then she started walking fast. And everybody started laughing. But that faith, you see, is something so special. I mean, I have seen so many miracles happening with this faith that there was one fellow called Mr. Shukla, who is a big boss in this hotel management of Taj Mahal. And this Mr. Shukla heard that his mother was very sick, she was going to die in 3 days. So he went to Rohtak, it's very far away, beyond Delhi, from Bombay, and he saw his mother in a very bad condition, very painful. The doctor said she has a galloping cancer, and at the most she can live for 3 days. He got very much worried. He came back home. He thought that I couldn't even talk to my mother, she's in coma, what will happen to her? He just sat before my photograph and prayed, Mother, please cure my mother. I don't want anything just now, you just cure my mother, I know you can cure her. And within 3 days, instead of dying, she was out of the hospital. He brought her to Bombay. They took her to the hospital of Tata Memorial Hospital we had. And when they examined her, they said she has no cancer. He has papers. He has papers from the first hospital and from the second. Recently, Rajesh told me a story about himself. He said, Mother, you don't know how many powers you have given me. I said, no, it's your faith. His uncle was just died. They had removed his oxygen and everything. His aunt sent for him. She said, now he's about to die. So we pray for his salvation, at least to Mother. Just somehow or other try to see that he also gets his salvation. He's not a surgery, uncle, nothing of the kind. So Rajesh just had his pendant, just kissed it, and then closed his eyes and prayed, Mother, please cure my uncle. That's all. He said it was too much of a venture to say, but I did say. And the uncle who was dying got all right. He went to America and is back and still kicking. So this is something, you see. We have to go deep down into ourselves. Superficiality is not going to help us. If we are superficial by nature, it will not help us. We have to understand ourselves. The whole mechanism is within us to attract the attention of this all-pervading power, to use it, to work it out. We can do marvels if we really go deep down and become good vehicles of that all-pervading power. That's what we have. Everything can work out. So there are so many examples of this, but especially these two recently I heard about, and I was amazed. We have to have that depth within us to understand what are we doing, where are we. We are born at this time, such an important time, and that at this time we have got self-realization. Very few people got it. Not only that, we have been blessed with so many things. But above all, we are so powerful. And all these powers must be manifested, must be used, must be worked out. And this superficiality of living on a very mundane style is not going to help us. We have to really go deep down into ourselves. When you are seekers, no doubt, you are seekers of truth. And you have found it also. How many have found it? So many are already lost if you see as hippies, as this, as that, as TM, as another, this Rajneesh. I've seen some other lady, a woman, she came, how much she was caught up, she was just burning. So many are lost like that. But you are the people who have got the knowledge, you have got the people who have got the truth with you. And all these powers are within you, but you must use them. But I have seen even after coming to Sahaja, some people get lost with the temptation because they get money. Some people get some talents, they get lost with the talents. Some people get some powers, they will get lost with it. That's not the way. See, if God has given you this realization, He expects you to give realizations to others, to go deep down into yourself. This is what we have to do, is to really work out our depth. It all exists within us. You never knew there is spirit within us. It's there. You never knew there is Ganesha within us. It's there. When you started awakening them, you found it works. It works. It has worked such wonders, health-wise, wealth-wise, in every way. But spiritually, how far we are? How do you judge a person who is spiritually evolved? Is that even a desire works out. Any desire works out. And such a person doesn't have any funny desires. Absolutely it works out. And that's what I want Australians to do, because you are special people born in this country of Ganesha. Perhaps we forget sometimes that you are born in the land of Sri Ganesh. Very special people. Very special. So have respect for yourself. And also must manifest your glory. That otherwise, of all the places from Russia, Sahaja will spread. Is not, I never expected that. But it may. I tell you, they are so deep, so very deep people. Extremely deep. I don't know what has given this. Materialism, I think, is responsible for our superficiality. They are not materialistic. About 30% people are materialistic, the rest are not. They are all seeking the spirit in the real sense of the word, not just for fashion. Very remarkable, very loving, very beautiful. I was there. They came. They arranged that from one place, some people will come only for 2 days, then 2 days. And where I had purchased a little cottage, there are some places where they can live in a small little huts like that. They all came and stayed there. I didn't know where they were living or anything. Early in the morning they would come, bring some flowers and plant the flowers in the garden, flowers itself, and would not say anything and go. Sit down for meditation. One day suddenly I discovered all of them sitting there meditating. I was so surprised. And then it was this Gorbachev's problem came up. So I said, now what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We are in the kingdom of God. Why should we worry about Gorbachev or anyone? Why should we? We are not worried. Beautiful, beautiful. Very collective. Also, this is the blessing of communism. They are very collective. I have seen that also in Calcutta. People are extremely collective. They don't talk ill of others. Very collective. It's not like come to my house, or you must visit this thing, this is my daughter. That mineness I didn't see. In Russia and in Calcutta, I'm surprised. Calcutta also has communist government. How it has worked out, I can't say. So, are you spreading Sahaja? How many people have you realized?
Personally, I wouldn't really know, but collectively,
Huh?
we all work together collectively. So personally, I wouldn't really know.
Now you are doing. You will have to do it. It's very important. All of you should ask this question. What have I done for God? Look at these flowers that you brought. They are so fragrant. They are so beautiful. They are going to live for a very short time. But what pleasure. What expression of your love they give. How beautiful they are. Australians have a very big role to play. As I expect from Ganesha, I expect from you also. बोला
हो गया था मेरा
टाइम हो गया
नहीं भी टाइम नहीं बचा
हाँ दे दो टाइम मेरे भाई से उसको
बहुत टाइम है बहुत टाइम
बस कुछ
Naraji, we got a call this morning from Hong Kong, from LXUK, and they managed to get some editorial in the newspaper for their programs as a run-up to your visit. And in the first program, they got 60 Chinese people, very good quality people.
Look at Alex. Alex is really special, I must say. Such a beautiful boy. You know, his mother died. And he was staying with me. So I said, Alex, won't you go to your mother? He said, Mother, there's no seat available. It will take about 4 or 5 days to get a seat by the time you go home. So what is the need? I'm with you. He said, you didn't cry. I said, I did, little bit, not much. Because I saw you and I knew that my mother will have eternal life. So why should I wait? Now he's saying that Alex has got 60 Chinese people in Hong Kong. I couldn't get even one. Chinese are another one. If Sahaja gets into their heads, they're very traditional, very deep Chinese. The Prime Minister of China, I met him when I went there, and I'm in a photograph, he's just next to me standing. After that, he became Prime Minister. At that time, a very nice man, and he was asking me about spiritual life all the time. I showed complete ignorance, you see. I said, these communists, God knows what they are up to. I didn't tell him. But I think we can approach him now. Somehow or other they got very fond of me, all the Chinese government and all. Somehow, some sort of an auspiciousness they felt about me. I couldn't understand them. What made them respect me so much? They had one exhibition for which they had invited me and my husband, and I couldn't go that one. And the next day was closed, that exhibition was to be closed. But they kept it open for me alone, and they said, you must see the exhibition, it's important. I don't know. They have their own ways of understanding. We had Confucius there. They follow more Confucius now. More Confucius, who has talked about general well-being and all that. But not so much about Tao, that they don't talk. They are extremely humble bunch, very humble. You try to praise them, they'll say, no, you have to do much better than this, nothing. They can never get pampered if you praise them, never. They are very much like Russians in so many ways. I can see Sahaja is here. Sola. Any questions? Dania is very happy with her husband, very happy.
Yes,
She's very happy.
Mother, did you know she has hepatitis?
She has what?
She has hepatitis.
She too. I've told him what is the thing. Can you fax it to Dr. Spiro?
मैंने बोल दिया शायद
हाँ?
मैंने बोल दिया जहाँ जहाँ पे है this is on the fax to
कौन से?
सिडनी भेजा था मैंने
Fax.
yeah and this is in everywhere
She is on the liver. Her husband is just like a child. But see him when he sings. Absolutely. Remarkable. There is that one with a super intelligence, I say. Wonderful man. She's happy because she can come to pujas. We are now there. She's very happy about it.
She loves it.
Yeah. She's happy in Spain also. Italians are better, but from Spanish people. Spanish have little bit. I think this American conquering has reflected in their character. There are also some misunderstanding. People think that I have said that men should dominate women. Never. I myself a woman, and yet if these men start dominating me, what will happen? But the man is the head of the family. So the woman should get her authority from him, but she has her own authority as a mother. And the husband must respect her. Otherwise, he'll never be respected. So it's kind of mutual understanding between the two. As I have said, there are the two wheels of a chariot, one on the left, one on the right. If you change the wheels, then what will happen? They are absolutely equal, no doubt, absolutely equal. Only they are not similar, which we must understand that we are not similar. It's nice to be a woman, I tell you, it's much better. Because men have to face so many people, face so many bosses. You have only one boss. And if you know how to manage him, but should it run sweetly, with understanding. It works out with your wisdom. Must have the wisdom how to manage. Because that's a part of the game, and one has to play it well. Not to feel anyway dominated by anything, but it's a kind of a framework one has to work with. Now supposing this is on our head, this is not dominating us, but it has to be there. So a kind of a framework is there. And that framework is to be accepted. Both of them should accept, and the husband should never make her feel that he is dominating. Actually, in India the custom is that husbands are also very clever, not only the women. So, normally they'll give all the money to the wife, you manage, and later on take away all of that. And always they'll say, all right, the sir to her, like rude and all that. You are my lord, and this and that, and that's how they keep it up. Because one thing they must understand, that if wife is all right, your family is all right. If wife is all right, your life is all right. So you must look after your wife. It's very important. If you understand that point, the men will never try to dominate. It's a wrong idea. I don't know from where it has trickled down that I've said the men should dominate women. But false prestige should not be there. Like in America, we went first. You know American women, now they are. They'll divorce 10 times and have all the money of the men. The men are just like beggars and they are so rich. It's a profession with them. The women have this profession of divorcing men. So they had cooked and all that. So I said, all right, let the boys eat first and then you can eat later on. They said, mother, this is domination. I said, why? Eating first is domination or later on domination? I think eating there later on is domination because you are at peace. Eat as much as you like. But if somebody is eating first, then he is in a hurry to finish for the next lot that has to come on. But if you are the second one, then you are relaxed, you are eating the way you like. There's nothing to feel. And moreover, it's an attitude, I think, that I love to cook, I love to serve, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's a temperament of a woman. She wants to feed people. She likes it. I'll tell you, my grandchildren, daughters, both of them, they were quite small. I asked them, what do you want to be in life? So they said, we want to be a nurse or an air hostess. So I said, why these two? In these only two professions you can give food to people. That's why. And they play, they play like that. They'll make a tray in that they will put this thing. So this is actually innate feeling of a child. Like once my daughter told them that if somebody comes from outside, you must make him sit on the sofa set. You must see that the fan is open, give them something to eat, take out from the fridge and all. So our washerman, the dhobi, came in. They caught hold of me, you sit on the thing. He said, I can't sit. You have to sit. I'm in a hurry. Nothing, you have to sit. They made him sit, opened the fan, got everything from the fridge, put it before him. You have to. Otherwise, we'll feed you, you see. And when my daughter entered the house, she saw these girls feeding him with their own hands. He got such a fright. He said, I'm sorry, I don't know what are they up to. We said, you told us and we are very happy we are doing that. So innately children have this feeling in them as girls. And then when you get a chance, you want to do it. I mean, it's such a pleasure to feed someone. You must have seen with Indian women, it's very common, they love to feed others. They're very happy. And I mean, there's no domination. I mean, if you have to feed someone, that doesn't mean that somebody is dominating you. These are all nonsensical norms. On the contrary, it's a privilege. Otherwise, after some time, we'll find men will be sitting at home and the women will be going out. That's already a situation. It's hot for children. I think we are in a cabin. It's like a ship, I think, without the sea. Entrepreneur.
The entrepreneurs and the effect that they have on women is very interesting.
I see. It's quite a small book, I have to
It's
say.
a small book, but it talks about the entrepreneurs, the plastic surgeons, the cosmetic industry, the fashion industry, the weight watches industry.
So what are they saying?
I think the bottom line is that women have got very poor self-image, very low respect for themselves. It's a multi-million-dollar business that people are forcing women into, and it's a trap.
It's a racket. And then they say you can't do this, women can't do this, and it's very good.
It talks about how women are frightened to grow old, that there is no
Very
growing.
much. You see, I can have the book. In Germany, when I went, there was a lady, and she was telling me that in Germany, if you get old, then the men go after younger girls, but you are left alone. Then you have to marry some older man who is left by his wife or something. It's a big danger. I said, why don't you produce children? I mean, they get, if you have 4 children, they get more money than the Prime Minister. They said, but then you cannot have a husband. Either you have children or you have a husband. It's like that. It is because, I tell you, it's very superficial. It's very materialistic, superficial ideas about women also. They are a commodity. In Sahaja Yoga, woman is a person. Is as equal as a man. It's very different. They are just a commodity to be used whenever they want to. And I must say also, some women know the weaknesses of men and try to work it out in such a manner. Sometimes the women only trouble women also. They don't understand that she is a woman and I am a woman, I should not try to trouble. But in sort of competitiveness, they do wrong things and try to destroy another's life. But men will have to change now, it's coming to that. All these tricks they have tried and they are now having a lot of trouble. There are diseases that are coming up. Already there's lots of secret diseases there. Apart from the secret diseases, there are diseases which are cropping up, new diseases. So now they'll have to come to monogamy. Once they come to monogamy, then they'll have to realize the value of women, what they are. Imagine this all quarrel about ordination. Imagine Christianity is so stupid that they can't have women for ordination. Now I'm a woman after all. And now as a reaction, women are so angry that a girl came to me the other day, I was in Perth. She said, Mother, why did you call God as he? Why don't you call her she? I said, because I am she, that's why I'm calling me. But this concept is only still there in the Indian scriptures. No. That there's God and his power is Adishakti. But nowhere, even Islam, in Christianity, in Judaism, in what you call Buddhism, Jainism, nowhere. They have not talked of a woman at all, as if the whole world is made of men. And this is surprisingly for developed countries and civilized countries like this, they are talking this nonsense. But the solution is only surgery. There is no other solution. Even women go and fight with men. What's the use? Men fight with women, no use. So the best thing for them is to get to Sahaja, to understand the value of women, to understand what they are for and what is our relationship means. It's such an enjoyment. It's stupid those people who do not want to have that enjoyment. Also, your media is responsible. Whenever you open the television, you just find husband and wife fighting. It's too much. All the time fighting they show. They never show good relationship. Once I asked directly, is there any novel where they show the romance of husband and wife? He said, there's no book. No book in English. The whole of English language, there's no romance of husband and wife. Anyway, I mean, that is how you get into tragedies. But in India, if you see, the literature has certain ethics. One of them is only the romance between husband and wife is a romance. The rest of it is vulgarity. This is the concept. Also, because mostly they are arranged marriages, so they don't know all this romanticism before marriage. So they are waiting for the wife and whole thing, and the wife becomes everything to the husband, and same vice versa. So the whole cultural concept has changed. It used to be the same way before in every country, but now we are advanced. You see. In that advancement, we have done this kind of thing, is to make antagonistic societies of men and women. It's very sad, but we are very superficial. But the concept itself is wrong. I think the basic fundamental thing in a Western culture is to see and to be seen. This is what I have derived. That's the concept. That people should see you and you should be able to see others. I mean, it is so superficial. Now they see somebody's legs and somebody's face. What's the use of a joyless pursuit? That person doesn't belong to you, nothing of the kind. What's the use of seeing these things? But this, we have become very superficial. And it's going on and on. But I think it will all stop with Sahaja Yoga. Gradually, we'll start seeing the beauty inside. You know, Chris Marlowe, from London. He had a wife, Jane. She was quite a dry person. She herself was saying that whether I'm no good for him. So they divorced. Then he told me, Mother, I want to marry a girl who has lots of vibrations. I said, what about looks? No, I don't see any looks. I want to see a girl with vibrations. And we had a girl from Malabar. Very dark, extremely dark, and village-like, absolutely. You'll never, I don't think from your standards she may not be beautiful. From my standards she was very beautiful. Full of vibrations, full of vibrations. As soon as she came on the stage, he jumped. He said, this is the one. He's so tall, she's short. And he looks after her so well, I tell you. And then he went to her place, her village, all the way to Malabar. My sister saw, he said, what a couple. I said, the couple is chosen each other. I can't tell you. He's so fond of her, he looks after her. She's very sweet. I really in love with her. But I didn't know that this fellow will have the same sort of a feeling. Because we are superficial, these things are happening. We should see the inner being, how beautiful it is. Look at that Elizabeth Taylor, that stupid country of America. This was her 8th divorce, 8th honeymoon. So they had 3,000 or 4,000 people just standing outside her house to see. She's going for a honeymoon. Anyway, it's stupid. And there were 10 helicopters hovering around. And they were parachuting. And some of them fell on the trees and some fell on the people who were there. And they were quite excited, very sensational. Such stupid people these Americans are. I don't know what to say. And this lady has divorced it. And this husband of hers, this one, is, I think, I don't know how many years younger to her, like her son. And also he's an ordinary man or something. But just for the heck of it. She has no sense of marriage, nothing. But what she has done is she's operated her eyes and she's put her up and all that. And she looks younger now, and she says, I can. There's no, in that country you cannot match it. It's so stupid. I mean, I haven't yet to come across people in a group so stupid as that. Stupidest people you will think. Stupidest. You can never match it with age. Still Sahaja is now working. The God feels so exhausted. Every time he comes home, he just lies flat saying, Mother, please save me from New York. It's terrible. There's no way of matching it. So, they invited me for this Union Society. And I went there. Of course, I didn't read Union much, but that day I got hold of a book and I found out the reason why Unions have failed. So I talked to them, they were very much impressed and all that. And the president of that society is 8 years of age. And he said that, Mother, I must see you, I have some private thing to talk. I said, all right. This old man came about 8 years of age. He says, I have a very serious problem. I said, what's the serious problem? He says, you see, I had a keep. Because I'm a Catholic, I could not marry the keep, but I never told my wife. I never told my wife. So now what am I supposed to do? He said, now my wife is dead and I want that keep to stay with me. But she has refused. Can you do something to see that the keep stays with you? I said, it's all right. 80-year-old man, I must have been 60 by that time. An 80-year-old man talking like this to me. I said, now what is happening to this man? And he is the chairman of the Jungian Society International. See the maturity of that person. 80-year-old. In America, such cases, so many. Terrible things. Extremely stupid, and I don't know. They have no confidence in themselves. All the time they think we should not get old. So there was, on the television they showed the cinema actors and actresses coming for a dance of shake. They were all about 90 years of age. When they got down from the car only, they were shaking. I said, what's the use? They were already shaking. In 90 years they have not grown. Funny dresses they were wearing and all that. So when are they going to grow? There's no maturity. The atmosphere is the other way around, I think. Very stupid. Really mad. But people start copying them. Whatever they say, people listen to them. Even English, I am surprised. I said that you are sensible people. Why do you follow these stupid Americans or the French? English are rather matured. Maybe they lived in India, so they are too mature. Maybe I don't know why. But compared to these stupid people, they are much more mature. And now they are following the American style. They used to follow first the French style, now the American style. They don't stand on their own legs. But Italians have a good sense of ridicule. They understand what is ridiculous. That's something about them. A great sense of ridiculous. It will all change with Sahaja. It will. You are in the kingdom of God. You shouldn't worry about these things. What to do? If they join us, they can come up, but they don't want to. Let them be like us they are. What else?
Which chapter relates to the fetish system?
What?
Which chakra looks after the lymphatic system?
Huh?
Lymphatic system.
Lymphatic.
Konka chakra has a
Lymphatic system.
Yeah.
If the lymphatic system is under attack, you mean to say? See, it is on the whole, there are only two types of problems actually. Third type doesn't exist, doesn't bother us. One is the left, another is the right. See? Now the lymphatic system is actually the combination of both. It's a psychosomatic thing. For that you have to do just 3 candle keep. You see, it is reduced to such a simple thing, either you do 3 candle treatment or you do water treatment. The third type is the one where you have been to wrong gurus in the center. You have done some wrong type of meditation. That's the third type. For that also is 3 candle treatment mostly. Or maybe little comes as a little change also sometimes. But whatever it is, this is very simple for physical thing. Anybody has lymphatic thing, he has to do left side first. So this is psychosomatic. First you must get rid of the psychic side. So do the left side. When it is cleared up, then right side is not difficult. If you have 2 right side, then what happens? Like a pendulum, you move from right to left. Then psychosomatic troubles start. The best is first to remove the left, then look after the right side. Sahaja Yoga is a very simple way. It works. Somebody should help you in left side is to give you bandhan on your chakras with a candle. Put a candle on one side of the left swadhisthana and also one before the photograph. Because it's all due to viruses. And the viruses are there because your attention is the left. Once your attention goes away from there, you are rid of them. Alright? It's not complicated. Sahaja Yoga is very simple. You know, we have cured people who were about to go on the dialysis. Kidney has been cured. Can you imagine? Of course, blood cancer, this, that has been cured, no doubt. But imagine the kidney, people were going on the dialysis.
I got very little question.
Huh?
Which sentence is correct? Sahaja Yoga is the active term of our evolution or for the human evolution?
Of course, I mean, we make the human beings.
So which sentence is correct?
You first, if you are evolving, you are also evolving human beings with you. So it's for the emancipation of the whole world. It's not only your evolution. No, not at all. That was over. Now that's I have told about that. A new thing is that for Buddha's future, they said there will be a future Buddha who will be Matraya. Matraya means 3 mothers together will be the future Buddha, and that is called as Bodhisattva. Now the Bodhisattva is the one who will become Buddha, means who will get enlightenment and will work for the other people. So it's already described, and you don't have to suffer, you don't have to do anything as it was before individually, but now you will work in the collective. So you have to work in the collective, otherwise you have no meaning. Also you cannot be cleansed unless until you come to collective. If you say I am staying at home and I am doing all the puja and all that, doesn't work. Like a nail, if it is cut, it doesn't grow. Very simple. It's not for one person, no doubt. I mean, how can it be for one? Because the time has come for doing collective work now. The whole world has to change.
we ever be able to go to Tasmania?
तस्मेनिया में कभी जा पाएंगे क्या?
Huh?
तस्मेनिया में कभी जा पाएंगे क्या?
That's fine.
They'll come.
Yes, some Tasmania, yes, they have to come. They have to come here. Like you see, Sicily, we are now having lots of surgeries there. They all came down. Then I can now go to Sicily. We have very few people in Tasmania.
Yeah.
None. That's the point.
They all come away.
So when they will come and will get their realization, then I can go. You see, if I go to a place, it is like, should I say, the seeds being sprouted, nobody to look after.
There were quite a number of people who came from Tasmania. I think some of them wonder if they could ever go back.
They should. They should. They should go with their bundles and try to save their country. Yes, they should. If they go and establish it, I'll definitely go. It's quite a remarkable place that Tasmania is. Talisman means all these secret magic things, talisman. And from that Tasmania, what must have come?
How many Tasmanians are there here?
Still very few to fight those negativity there. It's very negative, very negative, very negative. Just like we have Calcutta, too much of black magic, too much. But gradually we have now got it out, changed. One side is they are all full of black magic, those who believe in God. The another side are communists. But still now we have thousands. It's remarkable. But people have to work very hard for it, very hard. So many people went from Nagpur, from Bombay, from Delhi to help them. Still some places I have not been, like Shillong, Assam. We have some coming from there. I told them next year I'll try to be there.
You want to get one of the official photographs, your hands are like that. Can you tell us the significance of that?
That's like that.
Yes.
You want to know what's the symbol?
What's the significance of anyone writing up like that?
This is for assurance. See, this is for assurance. It has powers. This hand has tremendous powers. And this one is for giving. See? So these are two aspects. But actually, as you know, this is the power of action. So it acts. And this is the power of desire. So this is the love that's flowing of your mother. And this is how she's acting. But now I've given up. I used to do it in the beginning, it was needed. Now this is not necessary. It works even without that. They are called as mudras, which I used in the beginning. Now I don't use that mostly. I think you better give it to children. ये सभी दे दो। अरे आप फॉलो to ये दे दो। Come along, who want to eat chana? For chana they'll all come.
इसमें तो कुछ
Huh?
कुछ बच्चे हुए हैं अभी 2-3 महीने में, लोगों को वो चाहते हैं आप ब्लेसिंग दे दें, यहाँ पे आए।
नहीं है। Who has got children now? Small little babies. Oh. Huh. That. How old it?
9 weeks.
Huh?
Pardon?
9?
9 weeks.
What's the name you have?
Casper. Kaspa.
Kaspa means what?
One of the three wise men. A Persian name, meaning one of the three wise men.
Kaspa. Right? That's a good idea.